Chess, great.
Yeah, it's purple versus pink, the nice jackets on the back of their chairs. Just to, again, recap of the first 3-4 moves here. We saw the central pawns push, and as Tanya mentioned, the symmetry broken because the white queen is so centralized. It's not a queen's gambit even, it's just a queen's pawn push here, because after a capture, the white queen immediately takes it back. Again, the position that Levon and Hikaru were discussing earlier. Black bishop hits the queen steps back, and it's just very difficult now to challenge in the middle of the board. Any pawn pushes by black would be sacrifices, and if Levon Aronian gets one more pawn push, he's going to be very happy with a nice pawn center. He used to be called Mr. Center because he loves his space, he loves his central pawns so much with the white pieces.
And space advantage, it's a term that we use so much in our commentary, and just how much it means to chess players. We see them always striving for those pawn pushes in the center of the board or the flank. The aim is to cross over to the other side to gain more squares, because then you're the one who's sort of directing the attack and the play in the game. It really comes to a lot if you're able to get that going. And meanwhile, Levon Aronian with more time than what he started the game with.
Yeah, that's why those kind of pre-game analysis sessions, they're so important.
Yeah.
Like, if they're done well, and it seems like Hikaru and Levon, they fixed their kind of intent, their attention on one move. They were only looking at this variation, and it gives them confidence. He knows where he's going to put his pieces. They've discussed that already. For Hans, who is analyzing alone, like, yes, you get the focus, but if you don't predict your opponent's first move, you're in the back foot, you burn time.
He's not spent more than 2 seconds, essentially. It feels like on a move up to this point, gaining back 30 per move that he makes to have 32 on the clock here. While Hans Niemann continues to spend time. What's he considering here? What is really giving him such pause?
I think Hans wants to break out. Like, he's not a passive player. He's not just gonna sit by and watch Levon Aronian build the big pawn center. He wants to do something with his own pawns, but those two squares, those challengers pawn breaks, are covered at the moment amply by the white pieces. Other than that, it's like, how is this black bishop coming out? Maybe you just push a pawn one square, but that's, again, quite timid. Where are you putting your knights? If you put them in front of your own pawns, then you might just block your pawn breaks. Which way is the black king going? There's so many questions. It's one of those positions, Tanya.
And no clear answer, right? It's one of those moments where you really wish you could get a player into the confessional to understand what's going on, and that's been something that we've been missing, especially for Hans now, reaching that 20-minute mark. And that's one of the most exciting things about freestyle chess has been our confessional booth, not used much because of the shorter time format in this event so far. I've got an update for you guys. There's an idea that's been floating around, and Jan Butner, the genius mind behind it, there's a suggestion, and we want to get chat on it. Jan's always for democracy here, so getting the players in with their thoughts, getting the community in with their thoughts. Going forward with freestyle chess, this is what's being proposed, that the players would start with 33 minutes, and not 30 minutes, that's 3 extra minutes, but to make one confessional visit mandatory for a player.
it could happen to be in a tournament game, in a championship match.
I mean, if this is one of those 2%, you're sort of taking it with both hands, or at least trying it out till your last breath. But Levon is just giving no chances at all. He places his rook, attacks another pawn. Black's knight hanging does not give Hans the time to pick up the pawn with a check. Everything will come under attack with the king moving closer to that black king. If rook takes pawn was to happen on the board. Hans Niemann tries, but trying against Levon in this form will not be enough in this position.
Just to point out, the black rook could take a pawn with a check. I'll just very quickly put this on the board, but the white king will step back. Hans Niemann looks devastated in the meantime. The rook attacked, the knight attacked. You can give a check, but one of the pieces will drop off on the next move. So it looks like there's no real hope here. He gives a check from the other direction. The white king, though, can step across, defend that pawn we were just talking about. And all of black's strengths are falling. These two black pawns. Hans is trying to keep a poker face, very impressive poker face, but we saw it for a moment there.
Yeah.
Head in hands.
Cracks forming in the facade. Reasonably so. Such a calm move there from Levon. He's walking it into the finish.
Yeah. He's just controlled everything. The white rooks have not allowed a single fork, a single ray of hope here. And yeah, unfortunately, once I think this B pawn was the key. Once that one drops, no further hope for Hans Niemann. One more check.
It's been clinical and a controlled performance by white ever since getting an advantage in this game, and you can see it on Hans that this is about to finish. That C pawn will eventually start marching up the board. A check given can easily be blocked. You can move the king. A head shaker. That's not a face we've seen on Hans Niemann in Las Vegas.
Now it feels like a resignation in his mind. The question is it a resignation on the board? Rook sliding over to defend the check, offering the trade. Of course, Hans won't take it.
This is so clinical, Levon Aronian. He's driving away the knight, he's saving his pawn, but he's also preventing any checks when the white king slides back and finally rounds up that errant black pawn over here. Hans Niemann, we might see a resignation any moment now. He's got just under 2 minutes on his clock, but everything is hopeless at this point. He's tried every trick and they've all been rebuffed.
What more could you ask for out of Levon Aronian? The handshake's extended. He's got no shortage of style. His style was on full display here in the Vegas stage. Levon Aronian will be your Las Vegas Freestyle Grand Slam champion.
Wow, what a deserving win from the Lion, Levon Aronian. He did it the hard way. He went through so many scary moments. He went through Magnus Carlsen, went through Hikaru Nakamura. Well-deserved hug.